Ok, mình có nhận được cái thư mà cái thông báo của nghị viên Phát Bùi, cựu nghị viên Phát Bùi, về cái vấn đề là cái cái diễn đàn của dân cử do người Hồi giáo họ tổ chức trong thành phố Gòn Gove. Thật sự là có thể là có luôn mình đó, tại vì mình ra tranh chức ủy viên học khu Gòn Gove mà. Thì trong cái thư mời thì anh Minh Giang cho mình biết là cái phần của nghị viên Phát Bùi, tức là cái phần mà ứng cử chức thị trưởng thành phố Gòn Gove là bắt đầu từ 6:30. Mình đi lạc đường vòng vòng thì bây giờ là hơi trễ tí xíu, nhưng mà giờ cũng đang bắt đầu, nhưng mà thấy hầu như là chỉ có là cô Stephanie với ông Phát Bùi, chứ còn không thấy những cái ứng cử viên gốc Việt khác. Thành ra ít nhất là ông Phát Bùi sẽ có cái lợi thế là có được phiếu của người Hồi giáo hơn những cái ứng cử viên gốc Việt khác nha. Nhưng mà có lẽ là nhiều khi ứng cử viên Hồi giáo họ lại bỏ phiếu cho cái anh ngồi giữa, hay là cái cô Stephanie người da trắng hay không chừng, không biết được. Cô này thì thấy có vẻ cũng rất là gọi là lanh lẹn, là mình không dám tùy dạo mồm dạo miệng, nhưng mà thấy cũng rất là có tài hùng biện chứ không phải là lồm cồm. Thành ra cũng một ứng cử viên cũng khó nuốt chứ không phải đơn giản, mà hình như là cô ta là chỉ có là ứng cử viên da trắng duy nhất. Nghe nói là chỉ có anh này là người Hồi giáo thôi, mà nghe nói anh này là cũng giống như Khải, không có bỏ tiền ra để mà đầu tư vận động. Thành ra nếu mà ai hỏi Khải nghĩ là cô này sẽ đắc cử chức thị trưởng, chứ còn mấy ứng cử viên gốc Việt thì chia phiếu nhau hết rồi, không thể nào đắc cử được.
So, you know, I usually bring in leaders from the community and meet with them to see what the needs are. I want to hear from you. You know, as a representative of you, I will meet with all the leaders to figure out the things that you need addressed. I mean, that's critical. People need to be heard, and I just want you to know that I will do that, whether it's healthcare, housing, even if there's education issues. You know, I'm a college professor, so I know it's important for young people. They're dealing with a lot of issues on the front lines today as just youth being in school. So those are the kinds of things that I will work on. You know, if we need to make a commission or an ad hoc committee on the council, if you bring an issue to us, I will make sure that that issue is addressed. I want inclusion, and I want everybody in this community to be heard. Thank you.
For the masjid and the city to participate together in a productive manner, I think number one is that the masjid used to be very involved with the city, but that had kind of petered out with Brother Haytham Bandukshi's health deteriorating, unfortunately. May Allah give him shifa. But the city and the masjid need to work together. Number one, the city needs to recognize that this is a massive community. I know that when I go on the city's website, I don't see any mention of the masjid, but I always see mentions of Christ Cathedral. But there's never a mention of this mosque, masjid. And number two, I think that we need to make this area a little bit more inviting for our Muslims. I've actually have a couple ideas. Number one, the storm drain behind me, that should be turned into a walking trail. There is something similar in Long Beach on Studebaker Road with the San Gabriel River. It allows people to go walk in the mornings after Fajr, go walk before or after Maghrib, go walk. Another thing is that our parks are very uninviting in this area. I live here because I live actually just across the road. There's nowhere for me to go to a park in this part of Garden Grove. I would either have to go to Westminster, Fountain Valley, or drive to Bolsa, and Bolsa is also very uninviting. It's never campaign. One more thing is that I think that the city of Garden Grove should introduce a law requiring police officers to attend a 1 to 300 or 400 ratio of police to, and if there's ever an event, one police officer to 400 or 300 attendees ratio. I didn't see that at the Eid prayer, so inshallah that'll change.
Thank you. I was city councilman for the city of Garden Grove for 8 years, since 2014 to 2022. And during the course of the years, the city of Garden Grove have been very cooperative and very engaged with the mosque here in our city. Anytime there is any issue, our city manager, the mayors, and the city council always come to this mosque to try to understand and find a solution. I remember a few years ago when the Islamic Society tried to open or
Để
expand
mình xem
the
cái
mosque with the,
phản ứng của những người
memorandum,
khán thính giả khi mà anh phát
we
buổi
have
phát
been
biểu
very
thì
supportive of that project. And throughout the last many years, I came here.
để coi họ có quan tâm nghe hay không, hay là mình nói mình nghe. Thì
I realize one thing that even though we have helped tremendously trying to get the mosque more parking, but the population has been keep increasing, and so now it becomes
trời hôm nay
burden
khá
again.
mát, rất
My
là
idea is
khí hậu rất
the
là
canal behind us, that belongs
lý
to
tưởng
the
ha.
county. So
Trời
the city
vừa
cannot
vặn
do
là
anything about it because
không
it is
có
property.
nắng
The canal
mà
belongs
cũng
to
mát
the
rượi thôi,
county.
rất là đẹp,
But as a city,
thời tiết
we'll
rất là
be,
đẹp.
working with the mosque to try to promote that the use of that. Perhaps some of the area can be built as a parking structure. And the last idea that I have, and I have been talking with Amir about this for the last about 2-3 weeks ago, and that is this street, 13th Street. Only the mosque use it because the other side is a canal, and then this side, entire segment is a mosque. So we could turn that into a one-way street, or even better, if the mosque had the financial capability to purchase the street, we can turn that into more parkings for the people here. If we turn that into one-way street, there are a lot of areas that can turn that into the parking, and people will just turn either this way and then turn the right and continue on. It doesn't affect the driving of the traffic at all.
Thank you. All right, we're going to open it up to questions from the audience now. But before we do that, we'll get ready with a microphone on this side right over here. If you have questions, you can come up to this side right over here. Riam, who has his hand raised right now, is that wonderful sweater. You can go right up to him and ask questions directly to the candidates. While you do that, I'll wait for everybody to get in line. I know everybody's itching to ask the candidates questions. I have a quick rapid fire questions for the candidates. Candidates, these are quick yes or no answers, right? So first and foremost, do you commit to appointing someone Muslim in a city, district, or county position in your campaign?
Yes.
Musab?
If merit provides, yes.
Absolutely.
Great. I just want you guys to keep in mind this is recorded and on the record, all right? So we're going to hold you to it if you get elected. Question number 2, would you consider designating a sister city in Palestine, in the West Bank or the Gaza Strip? And just for context, by the way, cities have sister cities, and so the city of Garden Grove has a sister city in Korea, and Anyang is the city, actually, that's designated as our sister city here. No idea why, but anyways, that's true, and sister cities essentially, there's educational opportunities, economic and business opportunities between sister cities. So the question again is, in your capacity, obviously in the county there's nothing like that, would you consider designating a sister city in Palestine?
Yes, absolutely. I've seen it done with sister cities in the cities that my parents grew up in, and it's a great way to, connect back home, and it would be, I suppose.
Yes, Hebron. I don't know the Arabic names. Hebron, Nablus. Hopefully that by the time that election comes by, these are still in the West Bank and still a part of Palestine.
Just yes or no, I cannot explain it.
Go ahead and explain. It's a yes or no, but
Okay, there are many criteria for a sister city. Like 2 years ago, someone recommended that we form a sister city between a city in South America and Garden Grove, but it didn't go because there is no economics factor involved. So I cannot say yes or no, but I will certainly consider it.
All right, we're going to open it up to questions from the
Nếu vậy nãy
audience
Khải
now.
lộn nha. Cái
We have
cô
our first
ngồi trên
question. Go
đó
ahead,
là Frances Marquez, là cái cô mà đối đầu với thượng nghị sĩ Trần Đắc Nguyễn, chứ không phải là cô
First, I'd like
Stephanie.
to thank all three of you for coming. It really is nice to be able to hear from you. I've been living in Garden Grove since 2008. I'm an attorney. I'm a legal aid lawyer, which means I represent low-income people. All I do is eviction defense. From what I see in my practice, homelessness is not a drug problem. It's not a shelter problem. It's an affordable housing problem. Wallahi, I just represented a man this week, 79 years old, facing eviction. I had a client call me on Thursday in tears because she got the sheriff lockout notice. She physically cannot walk. Here's my question, and I want very specific, please specific. What are you gonna do to make housing affordable? Thank you.
Candidates, unfortunately, you have 1 minute to answer these questions. Thank you.
Of course, the homeless issue always started first with someone being kicked out of their house. So as mayor of Garden Grove, I will make sure that there will be more housing available, and hopefully that will drive the cost of the house down. Secondly, for those who are unfortunate and cannot afford for the housing, Garden Grove will work to try to help them with temporary housing so that at least they are not
Cô Thu
living
Hà
out
bây giờ
of,
mới đến ha. Tức là nghị viên Thu Hà cũng là tranh chức thị trưởng, bây giờ đến trễ.
For homelessness, I was not aware it's fully a housing low-income problem. I know there are some homeless people who struggle with addiction, so that can't be cast aside either. But I have a very detailed response when the OC Register comes out with their voter guide. I think number one, we should follow European cities that ban Airbnbs from owning properties here in Garden Grove. Corporations, LLCs, foreign nationals from owning single home residences in Garden Grove. Garden Grove needs to also provide a first-time home buyer program for Garden Grove residents aged, I would say, 24 to 38. For purchasing a home, and also a buyback program for homes foreclosed upon by banks by Garden Grove families and residents in Garden Grove. This is all stuff that if the city has resources, it would be great to implement, but a lot of these resources are being hoarded by the state government, so we need to make sure that cities get together and pressure the state to bring a lot of those resources back to the cities. I do have a very detailed response on the OC Register's voter guide, so please check that out.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to push at the county to advocate for cities in this district to mandate when contracts are put out for affordable housing, that it should be mandated. I just want to share with you, in my city, we had 13 acres at the Los Alamitos racetrack that was public space, but was sold before the rules of the Surplus Lands Act kicked in. So, and that the rules say that half of the housing that goes on the property should be affordable. But my city sold it before that time period. I want to make sure that that does not happen again. So that's something I'm going to be pushing for when I'm on the Board of Supervisors. I also like Supervisor Sarmiento has a proposal. When families are struggling and can't afford to pay the bills, they can reach out to the county and get those bills paid. And so that's something that I'm going to push to increase that amount of funding. Try and ask the federal government to get that type of funding. I worked at the federal level, so I know how to get the funding from the House Appropriations Committee. So those are two of the things that I'm going to really look at and really push for, mandating affordable housing whenever projects are built. I know that the city of Anaheim is pushing for that right now. Thank you.
Deirdre Nguyen is running for mayor as well. She told me she had a previous event already, so this was not on purpose or anything. Deirdre, we're going to continue with audience questions, and then I'll come back to you for an intro. All right? Go ahead.
Thank you all for devoting your time today and coming to speak with us and hearing our grievances or our concerns. My question is, how do you plan to monetize, collaborate with Anaheim, and monetize the Walt Disney Company's planned third park and planned expansion of the resort?